Hello, you're watching AnewZ Morning from Baku. I'm Thiaroye, and here are the top stories. Protests resume in Georgia as demonstrations continue for the fourth night. Syrian National Army besieged Tel Rifat as it continues its advance through Operation Dawn of Freedom. The International Court of Justice starts hearings on the legal obligation of countries to fight climate change. Protests continued in Tbilisi for a fourth night on Sunday over the government's decision to delay EU accession talks. The opposition is accusing the ruling Georgian Dream Party of adopting authoritarian, anti-Western and pro-Russian policies. At least 150 protesters have been arrested across the country.
Thousands of people gathered outside the parliament on Sunday for the fourth night, triggered by the ruling party's decision to suspend the push. They are against Prime Minister Irakli Kobahidze's decision to suspend European Union accession talks until 2028. President Salome Zurabishvili, who supports joining the European Union, has asked the Constitutional Court to annul the election results and declare the new legislature and government illegitimate. Voices of protesters spread through not only the streets of Tbilisi, but also at least 8 cities and towns. Some gathered outside Georgia's state television, First Channel, to broadcast their message live. Police used tear gas and water cannons to dispel the crowds. The ruling Georgian Dream Party accused the European Union of blackmail following the European Union's call for a rerun of last month's parliamentary elections, citing significant irregularities. The Prime Minister says he rejects calls for new elections. The European Union and the United States are alarmed by what they see as Georgia's shift away from a pro-Western path. Georgian Dream says it is acting to defend the country's sovereignty against outside interference.
The ruling Social Democrats are expected to claim victory in Romania's parliamentary election that were held on Sunday, fending off a resurgent far-right movement that challenges the country's pro-Western orientation.
Romania's ruling left-wing Social Democratic Party secured around 26% of the vote in the recent parliamentary elections. Exit polls indicated that the far-right Alliance for Uniting Romanians garnered 19%. Prime Minister of the country, Marcel Ciolacu, called the results a signal from Romanians to the political class.
I believe that we must all look carefully at today's result. It is an important signal that Romanians have sent to the political class. In practice, let's continue to develop the country with European money, but at the same time protect our identity, national values and faith.
However, the future of Romania's government will also hinge on the outcome of the presidential elections, since the president designates a prime minister. Independent far-right candidate Călin Georgescu unexpectedly led the first round, which raised debates and concerns about election interference. The top court will decide whether the results will stand. George Simeon, leader of the far-right AUR, has heavily criticized the government, accusing the political establishment of undermining democracy.
I want to congratulate the new political forces that are entering or are likely to enter parliament. I'm referring here to the Young People's Party, SOS, and SENS. When we said that there would be new forces entering parliament, we were ridiculed. Now things are changing, and the first mission we undertook, that of cleaning up the Romanian political class, that of getting rid of corrupt parties, is close to being accomplished through the will of the Romanian people.
If the exit polls are confirmed, the PSD is expected to lead a pro-Western coalition with enough seats to form a government, though the far right will remain a significant presence in parliament.
The Syrian National Army has fully surrounded the Tel Rifat district north of Aleppo as part of Operation Dawn of Freedom. The campaign aims to stop the Kurdistan Workers' Party and People's Protection Unit's terror groups from creating a strategic corridor to northeastern Syria.
The Syrian National Army has captured several villages around Tel Rifat on the northwest of Syria. They have also blocked key supply routes between Raqqa and Aleppo and secured the Kuvaris military airport, a former air defense base. The district of Tel Rifat has been under Kurdistan Workers' Party and People's Protection Unit's terror group's control since 2016. These groups displaced over 250,000 civilians from the area, forcing them to take refuge near the Turkish border. They also used Tel Rifat as a base to launch attacks on nearby settlements. SNA launched its operation to stop the groups from expanding their influence and creating a terror corridor. The operation is ongoing as the SNA works to regain full control of Tel Rifat and its surroundings.
The United States assumes the United Nations Security Council presidency for 1 month, taking it over from the UK. It's expected that in December, the UN Security Council members will focus on the situation in the Middle East. In total, Security Council intends to hold around 2,000 open meetings on some of the most pressing global security matters. The presidency of the UN Security Council is held in turns by members of the Council in alphabetical order for 1 calendar month. Algeria will assume the presidency in January 2025. U.S. President Joe Biden pardoned his son Hunter Biden, saying he was selectively and unfairly prosecuted. Hunter Biden had been convicted of making false statements on a gun background check, illegally possessing a firearm, and plead guilty to federal tax charges. President Biden's decision led to harsh criticism from President-elect Donald Trump, who labeled the pardon as an abuse and miscarriage of justice. Previously, the White House had said repeatedly that it would not pardon or commute the sentences of his son. The 80th anniversary of the Thiaroye massacre serves as a reminder of a dark chapter in colonial history. In 1944, French forces killed hundreds of West African soldiers who had fought alongside them during World War II. As President Emmanuel Macron of France acknowledges the tragedy as a massacre for the first time, Senegal is calling for further answers and justice.
It was supposed to be a day of homecoming. On December 1st, 1944, hundreds of West African soldiers, known as Tirailleurs Senegalese, awaited their final return after years of fighting for France in World War II. But instead of celebration, it became a bloodbath. The French colonial forces fired more than 500 rounds in just 15 seconds. The official toll